Hey guys, how's it going? So we have some news today in the jet ski world. A couple days ago, Seadoo came out with their 2020 lineup, and it is looking sharp, might I say. So there are some huge changes this year for the Seadoo line, and I just wanted to talk to you guys about them because I know, like, there's a good couple channels that talk about this stuff, but they're few and far between. Like, you'll find maybe 5 or 6 videos of someone actually in depth talking about these things, and most of the time it's all the same person from Seadoo headquarters, and they're in their corporate side just talking about what they changed. You don't really get a person perspective on it. Now, disclosure, I haven't seen in person any of the new Seadoo models yet. There's one huge new model, so we're gonna be taking most of our time talking about that today, but let's roll into it. Okay, so first and foremost, we have a new GTI model for 2020, guys. This thing looks awesome. So what they did is they took the GTI from previous years and they took the GTX and they kind of merged the two together in their styling cues. So what you're gonna get for that, the new GTI model is gonna have this wake tower spout pre-drilled in like the 2019 and 2018 GTX does. So it's going to have that from the factory, which is awesome. That was a huge reason why I bought this ski, because it had that already and I didn't need to drill into the fiberglass. Another thing it's going to have is the LINQ system. So in 2019, you were able to retrofit a LINQ system onto your GTI, but it did not come from the factory. So now it will be coming from the factory that you will have a LINQ system. The seat looks a lot more like the GTX seat. It doesn't have this second hump here. So that is not there, and I don't believe this is there either. I could be wrong there. I'm trying to remember what the picture looked like, but it has a seating cue like the GTX. They took a lot of the cues from the GTX, guys, a lot of them. A huge thing that they're bringing to the GTI in 2020 is the speakers. So that's right, the premium BRP audio speakers that debuted in 2018 on the GTX and continued over to 2019 on the GTX and 2020 on the GTX, they are bringing to the 2020 GTI for the first time ever. The GTI is going to be able to have speakers from the factory. That is a huge option, considering the GTI is one step up above the Spark in the lineup. That's just, it's bringing a whole new market segment to it. Because that's what most people are going to be getting, is the GTI. It's their recreation model. It's an entry-level ski, sort of. The Spark is technically your entry-level ski, but you have more people who are wanting to do tricks and stuff on the Spark because that is such a low price point. But the GTX is where most people are going to be buying skis. It's that mid-grade, mid-level. You're going to be able to do more with it. So if you see here, 155 is what's on my GTX. So that means my GTX is 155 horses. So I got 155 ponies under this here seat. Now, with the GTI in 2020, they took out their 155 horsepower option. So that is no longer an option on the GTI in 2020. Instead, what they did, and this is awesome, they created a brand new motor. It is going to be the 170. So you're getting 15 more ponies. And what BRP says is that is going to give you 20% increased acceleration, guys. That is a crazy number for 15 more horsepower. Like, I am super impressed with that. That is awesome. I'm loving this ski. I don't think I'm going to trade in my GTX for it. However, if I was buying a jet ski this year and not last year, I might have went with the GTI instead of the GTX, because this ski is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so another huge design upgrade they made on the GTI for 2020 is they increased the front storage. Now, I know I said they've added a lot of styling cues from the GTX and brought it over to the GTI and kind of merged the two skis. However, you will not be getting the front overhead storage in the GTI. That is still going to be GTX only, where the handlebars go up. Instead, your storage is still going to be up here in the front compartment, so that is going to be a difference between the two platforms. But they did increase the volume of storage, which is awesome. I think you're getting a whole 17 more liters. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's the number that the executives at BRP were pushing out. Another thing they added from the GTX to the GTI is this handlebar setup. So it's gonna say Seadoo here. It's gonna have the diamond patterns here. It's gonna look the same. I thought the GTI handlebars in previous years were kind of bland looking, so I really like that they brought this design over. I think it looks a lot better. Another thing they did is in their storage compartment, they added a phone case for the GTI. So this is a first for the GTI. They're gonna have a waterproof phone case inside of their glove box. And instead of this small glove box that the GTX has, you're going to be able to fit about 2 water bottles of storage inside of there. So you can fit another dry case or something along the lines there. You're just gonna be able to fit more stuff in the glove box than the GTX can, which is really nice. But like I said, they will not have this type of storage. The storage will be in the front. So that, take it if you like it. It's a 50-50 thing. For a less expensive ski, you're gonna get less amenities, but they brought so much stuff to the GTI platform this year. I am super impressed. Another thing they added to the GTI is they changed the gauge cluster for 2020. So as opposed to the normal gauge styled gauge cluster, they added a full LCD. They added a digital display. So it looks similar to this, but not so much. You don't have any of these black lines in there. It's pretty much a solid square screen, and that's gonna display all of your information. They also brought over the cruise control to the GTI, and it looks like all models have VTS as well. Now for powertrain options, you're going to have a 90 horsepower still that has the upgraded spark motor, and you're gonna have a 130, which is carried over from the last year, that powertrain. And then, like I said, you have that 170. Okay guys, so the biggest change coming to the GTI in 2020 is going to be their hull. So, from what it appears, it looks like the design is very similar to the GTX. I don't know if they're carrying over the ST3 name, but the design of the hull looks extremely similar with that deep cut V shape. BRP hasn't said anything that it will handle the same as the ST3 hull, but I am assuming that that is the case. So what the huge difference is, instead of a fiberglass hull on the 130 and the 170 model, they're going to their CM Tech, I think it's version 2. I don't know what their actual patented name is for their CM Tech hulls, but it is their second iteration of the CM Tech hull. So what that basically is a polymer hull. It's what the Spark uses, so that's going to have some mixed emotions on people, but that is a huge difference in their previous ski, where after the 90 horsepower GTI, they all had fiberglass hulls. So this could be good, it could be bad. What it definitely is it is lightening up the hull of the ski. I'm very interested to see how they hold up with 175 horsepower or 170 horsepower, because that is way different than 90. So seeing how that ski and that hull handles all that power is going to be very interesting. Okay. Now, this isn't going to just be for the GTIs. This whole new platform goes into the Wake, the Fish Pro. So the Fish Pro is no longer going to be on the GTX platform. It's going to be on the GTI platform, and it's getting that 170 horsepower motor. So it's going to get on the Wake, the GTR, the GTI, and the Fish Pro. Those are all getting it. Now, the Wake has 2 models, so the Wake has 2 separate hulls. You can still get a Wake in the GTX ST3 hull, and now you can get a Wake in the new GTI hull. So that's huge there, guys. That's really different from last year. Well, it is and it isn't different. So there's a few more changes from last year, most of them being coloration. On the Wake model, they're going to this retro 90s purple look, and I think it's really cool. It's going back to like when jet skis started and got really popular. So it's going to be really cool to see that. And they also they changed a lot of the colors. I believe this color scheme is still there, but only on select models. For the most part, they have all changed this year, which is really cool seeing them divvy it up. This is probably my favorite color scheme, so I'm really glad I bought this ski. And I still love this ski. The thing's awesome. But I'm excited to see what this ski does, guys. This is new. This is awesome. The last few things, they changed the color scheme on the GTX limited model, so it no longer has that nice wood looking finish. Instead, it's kind of like a silvery platinum. It looks pretty cool. And then Besides that, they added, I think this was possible last year, but now you can get the LINQ system on the Sparks, and they changed some color options. So, and some apparel gear for their clothing line and for their PFDs. So guys, that's all for today's video. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I'm gonna try and throw in some pictures of the new GTI in here because that ski looks awesome. They did a really good job redesigning it. I love the thing. It looks great. So I'm gonna try and throw some pictures of the ski in here as well. And I'm gonna try and dig up as much as I can on this, and hopefully I can get one to review on the channel, or at least show you guys. So I think some of you jet ski guys would really enjoy that. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Do all that stuff. I'll see you guys in the next one.
I've been keeping myself so busy, pushing out the misery, trying to find the peace in me. I wanna be I wanna find myself, but again, it's always a phase. I wanted to stay, no you don't understand. I've been losing myself, I've been losing myself. I've been keeping myself so busy, pushing out the misery, trying to find the peace in me. I wanna find myself, but again, it's always a phase. I wanted to stay, no you don't understand. I've been losing myself, I've been losing myself.
So purely, I'm pushing myself to the edge, not letting go away. Been testing myself by the worst. I've been pushing my mind to the most. I've been loving the people around me, but I'm so paranoid, I'm so paranoid.